Wednesday marks 1 year since President Barack Obama's historic election. From the economy to healthcare, transparency to bipartisanship. Has Mr. Obama actually delivered on his campaign promises? Joining me this morning to discuss, Republican strategist Kevin Madden and Democratic strategist Lanny Davis, both in Washington, and here in New York, CBS News political consultant Marc Ambinder. Good to have all of you with us this morning. Boy, it does seem like we were just talking about this election, but now, 1 year after that historic election, Kevin, I'll start with you. In this year, about 300 days of the administration, has the president delivered on those campaign promises?
Well, I'm speaking as a Republican observer here, but I think one of the big problems that the president has is that in many cases of what he's promised on the campaign trail, he's overpromised and underdelivered. He spoke about changing the status quo in Washington, yet we still have the same bitter partisanship. He talked about how he was going to tackle issues like spending, and he was going to work with a lot of people up on Capitol Hill. And I think in many cases, he hasn't done that. So I think that the American public has become very disillusioned that he has been able to live up to the big promises that he delivered when he was the campaign trail. Essentially, the campaign rhetoric has not really matched the reality of his administration.
Lanny, you're obviously coming at this from the other side as a Democratic strategist. Do you agree with that? Has there been some over-promising and under-delivering on the part of the president?
Well, my friend Kevin's doing a great job of trying to turn a chicken salad into something else I won't say on national television. Look, we started this administration about 10 months ago in the middle of a Great Depression, inheriting $1 trillion deficit and a huge panic in the markets. We now have, in the last quarter, 3.5% growth, and we have signs that we're out of, in fact, headlines that we're no longer in the recession inherited. That's fact one. Fact two, we're just about to pass a health care bill where we have a consensus that will have universal care, and we will not let insurance companies deny pre-existing conditions. That's the one thing everybody agrees on, and we're almost there. And third, for the first time, the world recognizes America as positive. Barack Obama's popularity around the world is in the 70 and 80 percentile. That represents a fundamental tectonic shift in the way the world sees America. Now, those are three facts that my friend Kevin cannot deny.
Well, let's get our friend Marc here to weigh in, looking at both those sides, which really in a lot of ways represent the division of this country right now. Right. Did the president, he's had some successes, some failures, did he, though, try to tackle too much too soon with all of these promises?
Well, that'll be, the ultimate question. I think one of the things that frustrates both his supporters and gives comfort to his opponents is that a lot of what he's doing is a work in progress. He's taken steps towards fulfilling his campaign promises on a range of issues, from health care to closing Guantanamo Bay to, as Lanny said, restoring America's place in the world. But he's taken steps. And Washington is a town that likes to focus on process a lot. And so you see his allies taking comfort from some of the signs he's giving, and his opponents trying to take the opposite side.
What about his efforts to try to bring those two sides together, though, and really to work through a lot of these issues, going down the road of bipartisanship? Was that a smart move? I mean, is it actually working for him? It doesn't seem to be at every pass here.
Well, it's working for him in the sense that Americans perceive that he's trying to do it, and they give him credit for it. You haven't seen, though, too many results. You haven't seen too many bills, particularly difficult bills that were passed with bipartisan support. But in some ways, the president is a victim of his own success in the election, where he managed to defeat a good number of moderate Republicans. In fact, he appointed several to his cabinet, leaving in the House of Representatives, in particular, a rump group of mostly conservatives who are really pressing him, and that increases partisanship a bit.
So we want to end this early line, then asking the question, is it true? Yes, he can. Lanny, I'll let you start this one. A quick answer from you, if you would.
Well, it takes two to tango. Nobody doubts that an unprecedented effort by President Obama, he went to the House of Representatives and met with the Republican caucus. He went to the Senate and met with Republican senators. He's reached out to Republicans. He can't do it unilaterally. It takes Republicans to do something than just saying no. They're now the party of no. No one can blame Barack Obama for trying. Why not blame the Republicans for just saying no?
Kevin, yes, he can. What do you think? Yes or no for the president?
Well, I think I think the answer to yes, he can, whether or not yes, he can, I would say so far he hasn't. I think that this is one of those cases where the president has laid out a very ambitious agenda designed around hope and change. And while that is flowery rhetoric and he's mastered the pageantry of it, he really hasn't put a lot of his plans into action. And I think that so far, a lot of the winning coalitions that he built in order to get to the White House are still somewhat disillusioned that he has the experience and the will to actually see through his plans to success.
Well, the good news for everyone is we're not done picking this administration apart. We've only just begun. We've got 3 more years to work on this. So we'll be talking to you all again very soon. Kevin, Madden, Lanny, Davis, Marc Ambinder here with us in New York. Thank you all.